The gym's too busy again, man. So here I am in the car studio, I guess. And I am obsessed with Moses Itauma. I am obsessed with the lad. So I'm going to do a slightly more deep analysis video of some of his fighting. But before I do that, do me a massive favor, especially if you're a returning viewer and you haven't hit subscribe yet. Do me a favor and hit the subscribe button right there. It really helps me and it helps you see this content immediately, especially if you're liking it. Why haven't you done it already? Do it right now if you haven't. So let's get on with it. Now, I really like this kid, and I think loads of people, there's loads of noise about him right now. It's because he's got nearly every weapon you can think of. He goes low, he goes high, he's in, he's out, he has good head movement. His timing is unreal. And he's fast and he's slick. So he reminds me of, you know, he's got a bit of Lomachenko Usyk movement about him, but he reminds me of an old school ABA fighter. They are, unlike your white collar boxers, they're very much in, out, they're on their toes. They're all about being in, being out before they get hit, and he's got that. His feints are unbelievable. He goes to the body, and then feints body, and then he's up high, and he catches people all the time. And then when he's in there, when he catches them, he is lethal, he is ruthless, he is cold, he's everything you fucking need to be a high-level boxer. So, with that in mind, I'm going to give you a little bit of analysis here and show you exactly what I'm talking about. This isn't the same as watching it for real, but I'll give you a little bits here and there. So this is against the big Polish Viking Vok. I think it's Vok. I haven't seen much of him, but you know, he's a big old dude. He's got some experience under his belt. He's a tough guy, but I just wanted to show you this little bit just before he ends the fight. So this little combination right here. So he slips a jab, and bear in mind, let's just pause actually. Bear in mind, he spent quite a bit of the first part of this fight, and it wasn't a very long fight, trust me, like many of his fights aren't. He spent quite a bit of it kind of in and out, feinting, going low, switching, going high, and just throwing him off the scent. And then all of a sudden, he slips this jab right here and counters with the left hand, and then his movement straight after is unreal. He steps aside and then hits him with the right, body right, and that's him down. So let's just have a little quick look here without me talking over it too much. There he is, all the things, he slips, and then he's in, and he knocks him down. So what's amazing about that is not just his footwork, it's his timing, it's the fact, and when he gets the point of the knockdown, what's so amazing about the knockdown is, after he's done that little slip and sidestep, is that he has been going to the body so much, so Vok expects him to go body again, which he does, and he goes low-high. Because he's been going to the body so much, Vok's arms drop, and that's when he takes this opportunity and he hits him again. And then later on in the fight, just here, I'll just press play. Don't need to analyze this. You all know what you're seeing. He smells blood, and he is lethal, and he goes at him, and it's absolutely outstanding boxing. And he does that against everyone. He's in, he's out, he's feinting, he's going low, he's making people flinch. If you look at him right here against McKean, he's kind of doing it again. He's going in, he's going out, he's sidestepping, he's feinting, he's going low, high, low, high. He hits those low body shots a lot. And that just, I don't know if anyone's ever boxed before, but when you do that, when you got someone doing that, if they start catching you there again and again, you know you shouldn't, but you do start bringing your hands down. And then he times the low high really well. So if we watch him a little bit here, he does it quite a few times, goes low, steps aside, you know, obviously they go into a little bit of a clinch here and there, and he goes again, a few more low shots, and there it is. So eventually he drops low and goes overhead with the overhand there, and he drops this guy. And again, later on, the guy gets up from this knockdown, but very quickly after, he smells blood, he's ruthless, he finishes. He doesn't let him recover, and he knows what's great about him is he's got such good ability. His in and out movement, his footwork is so good at that, especially with that in and out. The one criticism you could probably have of him is he does move laterally well, but maybe he doesn't do it enough. Maybe he's in and out, he's just forward and back a little bit too much. But that forward and back out means he can get him bang, 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 and get himself straight out there, keep himself out of danger. He's quick enough, he's loose enough, he's skilled enough to do it. But for me, I think his best weapon is his check right hook. And if we go to the Franklin fight that happened a couple of weeks ago, we'll see that in action. Now, before we do, I watched him against Franklin. And I thought, flipping hell, he caught him with that check right hook again and again. And I thought, how is he so fucking good at that check right? And, you know, there are people that are good with check lefts or check rights, whether they're southpaw or orthodox. But I didn't realize this. I thought he was a natural southpaw, but he's not. He's a right-handed fighter who elects to fight southpaw. So he probably would have a really good check left hook. I'm not taking anything away from him, but it now does make sense why his check right is really good, because the dude's right-handed, right? So we'll have a look at it here. Let's see his check right. And there it is. Man, it is so quick, it is so sharp, and it's so short. I don't know if anyone's ever been caught with one, but when someone catches you, probably can't really see it, because you think it's going to be, sometimes you think it's going to be a jab, and it's just like straight over the top, and it slaps you, and he's clearly got some power on it. That's good. That's one of his biggest weapons, I think. He's got loads of weapons, but that is a really, really sneaky, sharp one that's going to serve him well in his career, I think. But again, here's just a little bit more. We got him against Franklin here, and if you look, he's in, he's out again. His hands, he's constantly feinting. He's constantly doing something. He feints high, goes low, and then he counters that punch, that jab from Franklin. It's the fact that he can just slip. And it's kind of like he doesn't jump out of the way. Do you know what I mean? There's no huge movements when he avoids those punches. When they talk about staying in range, when we used to kind of check our range with our opponents in the boxing gym, you'd stand in front of them and you'd extend your jabbing arm, and if you could touch their chin, that's range. And your objective then was to never really step out of that range. You can kind of shift back, shift forward. And the reason he's able to kind of slip out and then kind of catapult back with his left hand and counter that is because his footwork is so good. He's in as out, but he stays within his range. Some fighters are really good at being elusive, but they miss on the counter. And this guy is not missing on the counter because he's quick, he's sharp, and he stays in range. It is really, really good to watch and really, really hard to fight against. And if we move on to the knockout now, one thing I love that he does as well, he's just so much that's good, is he double jabs a lot. He double jabs loads. A double jab is such a useful tool. Franklin's a really difficult fighter to fight against. When you look back at his career, he's been a tricky customer. You know, he's not the top ilk by any means, but he's tricky. He gives people a hard time, and he made it look like an easy fight. But that double jab here and the uppercut, that uppercut was brilliant. Finish the I love the little jab at the end just to finish the dog. We just go back here. Well, let's put it in close up slow mo. Let me just fast forward it to that point. Yeah, it's that little jab there. It's just kind of like, I'm gonna make sure, but I don't want to hit you too hard, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to mess you up for life, but I can see that you're out, but let me just make sure that you're out. And it was a nice little, like, see you later, mate. Goodbye. So yeah, great fight. Great fight. I have not been this excited about a fighter for a long time. I think the last time I was as excited about a fighter in the heavyweight division was when Anthony Joshua was around and he was just banging out everyone he was fighting. So I think this guy could beat nearly everybody. I think he beats Dubois. I think he beats, I don't know, I think he beats Parker for sure. I think maybe Parker will be a good next fight. Does he beat Wardley? Probably. Does he beat Joshua? You know, I keep changing my mind every day about Joshua. Some days I think, oh, he won't beat him yet. But then other days I think, well, maybe he will. Maybe Fury and Usyk are a bit too much of a challenge. Fury might just lean on him and make the fight ugly for him. But if he stays on the outside, you know, there's no reason why he couldn't beat Fury as well. I think Usyk's the only guy I look at and think, yeah, he's the only guy that I think, yeah, he's a generational talent. He's the GOAT. I can't see him beating him right now. But in a year or so, you know, he's going to be a different animal again. I reckon he beats Wilder as well. I do reckon he beats Wilder. I like Wilder as a fighter. I respect him as a dude. He's hard as fuck. But after the Chisora fight, I think, yeah, you know, great warrior, great fight. But yeah, I think we've seen his ceiling, and I think he loses to Moses Itauma. So he's already a top 10 fighter to me, and I can't wait to follow the rest of his career. Am I right? Does he beat all those dudes? Is he a generational talent, and is he going to take over the heavyweight boxing world in the future? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and don't forget to hit subscribe. I'll see you next time.